Sometimes it's not about what's wrong on the surface. It's about what you feel deep in your bones. The kind of truth you can't explain logically, but you just know it. When it comes to relationships, warmth and chemistry aren't optional. They're not bonuses. They are the foundation. Without them, you're just two people playing roles, strangers trying to act like lovers. And no matter how hard you try to force it, nothing real grows on cold ground. Let's talk about 5 subtle but powerful signs that there's a lack of true connection, not just emotional, but spiritual, a lack of warmth and chemistry that reveals itself in ways most people ignore until it's too late. 1. You're not excited to see her or talk to her. Let's start with something simple, yet deeply revealing. When your phone lights up with her name, do you feel alive? Or do you feel numb? When she walks into the room, do your eyes naturally seek her out? Or do you feel like you're putting on a mask? Excitement is not about fireworks or butterflies. It's about a natural draw, a desire to be in her presence. Not because you have to, but because it feels like home. If that feeling is missing, it's a red flag. Relationships thrive on energy, on enthusiasm, on that subtle magnetic pull between two souls who enjoy each other's company. When you're with the right person, conversations flow, time flies. You lose track of the world because being with her is the world. But when it's the wrong person, every interaction feels like small talk. You search for things to say, but nothing feels real. You listen, but you're not present. You smile, but it's mechanical. Don't ignore that. Don't try to rationalize it. If you're not excited to be with her, you're already halfway out the door. The soul knows. The heart whispers. And if you're not listening, you'll pay for it later in silence, in distance, in resentment. 2. Sexual chemistry is weak, forced, or one-sided. The body doesn't lie. Where there is real connection, there is real energy. You don't have to force passion when it's genuine. You don't have to manufacture desire. It happens naturally, like the way a flame leaps toward oxygen. But if sex feels like a chore, like something you're doing out of obligation or routine, something's off. If it always feels one-sided, like you're the only one initiating or the only one truly present, it's not about technique. It's about connection. The most powerful chemistry is emotional and energetic. Without that, even the physical feels hollow. And yes, attraction can grow, chemistry can evolve. But if you're months into something and still feel like you're trying to light a fire in the rain, maybe the spark was never there to begin with. Intimacy without connection is just contact. And contact without warmth is nothing but an echo of what love is supposed to be. Don't settle for echoes. Don't confuse friction for fire. You deserve someone who looks at you and feels that same pull, that same hunger, that same sense of us. 3. You can't picture a future with her without getting uneasy or doubtful. The mind has a way of seeing ahead even when the heart refuses to accept it. When you think of the future with her, what do you see? Is it calm, inspiring, expansive? Or is it vague, blurry, and full of unspoken resistance? Real connection gives birth to vision. It makes you dream. It makes you imagine growing with someone, building a life, a family, a home. When it's right, the future doesn't feel like a risk. It feels like a journey. But when it's wrong, the future feels like a cage, like something you'd be trapped in. If the thought of marrying her, raising children with her, or even spending the next 5 years with her makes your chest tighten and your thoughts spiral, don't ignore that. That's not fear of commitment. That's your intuition warning you about who you're committing to. Some people might check all the boxes, attractive, loyal, kind, but still not feel right. And that's not a reflection of their worth. It's a reflection of your alignment. You don't need a perfect partner. You need the right partner. And sometimes your body tells you what your mind refuses to accept. 4. Your gut feeling says, something's off, even if everything looks fine. This is perhaps the most powerful sign of all, the quiet alarm that rings inside of you when something doesn't add up. Even when nothing is obviously wrong, she might be kind, she might be affectionate, she might even be everything you thought you wanted. But deep down, there's a voice that whispers, this isn't it. And the more you ignore it, the louder it gets. It shows up as stress, as irritability, as boredom, as a subtle sense of dread when you're around her, or when you're thinking about her. You can't explain it logically, but that's the thing. Truth doesn't always need logic. Sometimes truth is felt. Your gut is more than instinct. It's the part of you that picks up on energy, that senses incongruence, that knows when someone's spirit doesn't resonate with yours. That kind of awareness is sacred, and most people bury it under politeness, under hope, under fear of being alone. Don't be most people. When you feel something's off, don't look away. Investigate. Ask yourself hard questions. Sit with the discomfort. Because denying your intuition is the fastest way to walk into a life that looks good on the outside, but feels like death on the inside. 5. She doesn't bring peace. She brings chaos. At the end of the day, a woman's energy should feel like sanctuary, not survival. When you're around her, do you feel grounded or drained? Do you feel secure? Or do you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Peace is not boring. Peace is beautiful. Peace is the soft place where you can lay down your armor. If she brings drama, confusion, mixed signals, passive aggression, constant arguments, this is not chemistry. This is trauma bonding. Some people mistake intensity for passion. They confuse emotional roller coasters for love. But real love is calm. It's not loud. It's not chaotic. It doesn't leave you questioning your worth every other day. The right woman doesn't add to your battles. She helps you win them. She doesn't drain your energy. She refuels it. She doesn't make you feel less like a man. She inspires you to be more of one. And if the relationship constantly feels like a war, maybe the enemy isn't life. Maybe it's the connection itself. Chaos might feel exciting in the short term, but in the long run, it destroys everything. Your focus, your purpose, your mental health, your peace. And no amount of beauty, attention, or lust is worth trading your soul for a temporary high. Love isn't supposed to be perfect, but it's supposed to be real. And when it's real, there is warmth, there is chemistry, there is flow. You shouldn't have to force feelings that should come naturally. You shouldn't have to fight for clarity. You shouldn't have to silence your gut just to keep the image alive. If you see yourself in any of these signs, if you felt that lack of warmth, that disconnect, that subtle sense that something isn't right, don't ignore it. You owe it to yourself to seek what's real. You owe it to your future self to protect your peace. You owe it to love to stop pretending. Because the truth is, the wrong relationship doesn't just waste your time. It hardens your heart, it clouds your vision, it delays your destiny. Let go of what doesn't resonate. Let go of what doesn't align. Let go of the coldness you've been trying to light a fire in. Somewhere out there, there's someone who speaks your soul's language without trying. Someone who doesn't just fit your life, but adds to it. Someone who brings warmth without words, peace without effort, chemistry without confusion. Until then, choose solitude over chaos. Choose truth over illusion. Choose alignment over appearances. Because in the end, the greatest love you'll ever find is the one that doesn't have to be forced.